Hey there, Kyle Blades. I just wanted to talk to you guys quick about the promotion and the placement for Harley Davidson motorcycles. One of the things that allowed Harley to really have success after they almost collapsed in the 1980s, and as they brought their way back, what really garnered their success was their popularity within the baby boomer generation. So that's really been their bread and butter for really the past 20 years or so, has been that baby boomer generation. Because they're stuck in that one generation, year after year, we're seeing their age demographic get older. Right now, they're actually at 48 years old as their average age of their rider. Each year that's gone up. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel recently reported that it was up to 49 this year. Harley Davidson hasn't come up with that same statistic yet, but as you see, every year their riders are getting older. Not only that, they're predominantly male. 88% of their riders are males, and they're almost all white also. So pretty much what you have here are elder male whites as their entire customer base thus far. They also have a very high income, so it's not actually we think of the biker gangs and stuff like that. Generally, it's predominantly wealthy people because Harley Davidson motorcycles are expensive. So this has been happening kind of over the past 20 years. We've been seeing the demographic get older and older and remain predominantly male white. This issue was first brought up in the New York Times in an article called "Harley, You're Not Getting Any Younger," and this is approximately a year ago that this was posted in the New York Times. And essentially what it said is that eventually Harley's customers are going to die off, and what they haven't done is they haven't diversified into any different groups. They haven't gone after female riders or minority riders or youth riders or anything like that to try to draw in new customers. So this is really saying that Harley, you're just not hitting the mark. Well, Harley didn't really like that tone of voice, so the next day or within a week, they took out a full-page ad in the New York Times. And essentially, the new tagline that they came up with was "Screw it, let's ride." So they said that, and this was during the economic collapse of the late 2000s, and there's this saying, despite what everyone's saying about us, despite everything that's going on in the market, we're just going to keep riding. So that was their position. That's been their position since then. They're also really trying to attract the younger riders, females, minorities, the groups where they haven't been so strong thus far. Instead of just saying, we only, wear the bike for older male whites, they're really trying to go after females, minorities, and the younger rider. They did create a line of motorcycles called the Dark Custom line. And what this is a certain look and a certain feel to a motorcycle that's geared towards a younger rider. Their CMO, Mark Hans Riker, I believe it is, he said that really it's not just about having blacked out motorcycles, it's about creating an easy shopping experience. So as soon as that younger customer walks into the store, they can find the motorcycles that they're interested in. Whether that be a low-end or high-end motorcycle, they're all grouped together as opposed to all broken up by either price or the kind of motorcycle. To go after the females, they're doing some things called garage parties, and what these are a group of females only, and they get together and they talk about riding motorcycles. This way it encourages women that they think, the bike is too heavy, if it falls down they won't be able to pick it up, or they're just not sure if the sport's really for them. It allows a bunch of females to get together and allows other females to become advocates for the customers. Not only that, Harley is really trying to push Rider's Edge, and Rider's Edge is their program where they actually teach people how to ride motorcycles. So they're trying to get females onto motorcycles, show them the fun of the sport, and then also have them in the dealerships talking to people about the motorcycles as opposed to hearing about it from somebody else. The last group that we talked about was the minorities, and what they've done is they create the Harlistas. And what the Harlistas are a group of minority riders, mainly of Hispanic descent. And what they're trying to do is trying to, again, do the same thing with the garage parties and Rider's Edge, is bring these groups together so it's comfortable for them as they come into a dealership. It's not a bunch of old white men, it's people that are similar to them. So they're kind of trying to segment down each individual group so that way they feel more comfortable coming in. So far to date, they haven't had a lot of success with this approach. what they're really trying to do is get back to their Easy Rider days. They're trying to say, hey, we're the old nostalgic company. Everyone should love us because we've been around for 106 years. Unfortunately, that hasn't been working for them. Each quarter, their sales continue to decline. What they really need to be doing, instead of trying to talk about who they were, is talk about who they are now. And when they really started turning the corner in the 1980s, what really made their popularity bigger was the fact that they were setting trends. They weren't trying to follow anybody. They weren't trying to beat the Japanese on their grounds. They were using the blue ocean strategy of, we're going to create a product group all by itself, and we're going to sell that, and that's how we're going to be successful. And right now, they're not doing that. They're trying to compete against all these different brands. They're trying to compete against different sports. Instead of saying, we're going to set this trend, and we're going to go after that. And also, they're segmenting all of their customers. So, sure, you're a Harley rider, but you're a Harleyista Harley rider. Yeah, you're a Harley rider, but you're a dark custom Harley rider. So, in their attempts to kind of draw in these other groups, they're actually kind of segmenting them down more instead of bringing them into the Harley-Davidson family. So that's a little bit on the promotion of Harley. Next, we're going to talk about the placement, and I believe it was Mark Hans, also their chief marketing officer, talked about that this is a physical brand, and they want to be in the physical mediums. They want to be in the magazines. They want signage to draw you into a dealership. They want to remain that physical brand. However, with the advent of social media, they've really had no choice but to join in the game. They created a Facebook fan page that now has about 500,000 fans, and also a Twitter page which is much smaller with about 7,000 fans. And they're using these as vehicles to really try to connect, and besides just push out a message, one thing that they're really trying to do is get market research. Do you like the cut-off fender? And then they get 300 responses from people. Without having to do any focus groups, anything like that, they're getting customer feedback, so that way they can make a product that they know people want. Also, besides just the social media side of things, they're also trying to bring in mobile marketing, which has become really big of late. Just about everyone has a cell phone these days. So what they're doing is they're integrating traditional marketing, which is magazine ads. They're taking those magazine ads, and instead of just having it be a static ad, and that's what it is, and hopefully you go to the website, what they're doing is they're giving you a code to download a free wallpaper. And what this free wallpaper is Marissa Miller. For those of you who know her, she's a very beautiful swimsuit model. So they're trying to get it so these young men go to their men's magazines, which they're going to anyways, see this ad, want that on their phones, download that phone, and then Harley-Davidson has access to their phone to start sending them some marketing messages. They're also doing a similar thing with the women's riders. They're showing female celebrities on motorcycles to try to show women that even the most popular of people ride Harley-Davidsons. But instead of driving them to a mobile device, they're sending them to a section on the Harley-Davidson website. Again, kind of a similar approach with the minorities, trying to send them to the Harleyista side of the website. All of that said, their number one way of reaching customers and getting new customers has been and continues to be in-person contact, what Harley-Davidson refers to as close to the customer. Year in and year out, they have said that is the one thing that defines their outreach, is that personal interaction. It's not even a direct sales force, but what it is in this marketing company era, everyone's selling for the company, and Harley-Davidson has really led the way with that, of saying every single one of our employees is going to be close to the customer to understand what the customer wants. They've been known to attend a lot of rallies. Sturgis is obviously the biggest. There's a big one in Orlando, and even some of the smaller ones, especially the minority ones, or if there's a female-specific one, they try to attend that to be there. So they're actually trying to still do that. They haven't had a lot of success with their online and mobile advertisements. There's no numbers out there. They've said that they consider them a success, but there's no metric for that success. They have a lot of fans, but it's not creating leads right now. It's not generating new customers. So what they really need to do is they need to take that in-person excitement that they've always created, that personal touch, and try to integrate that with this social networking. And really what social networking is just human-to-human contact anyways. So that way, if they can get, someone to come to an event and then tweet or blog or write on their Facebook wall about what a great event that was, then next time that event comes around, more people are going to want to go to it. So right now they're really focusing on the macro, trying to get in front of as many young professionals as, not young professionals, but as many youth individuals who might be interested in riding motorcycles, as many females as possible, as many minorities as possible. Really what they need to do is focus in on the influencers, the people who have a lot of fans and followers and friends, and try to get them to learn about the brand, to experience the brand, get them in, and then that way they take this very real personal touch and they spread it out to the world. They're going to actually then spread it out to the world via these social networks. So instead of having Harley be the voice of the brand, these customers become the voice of the brand. Once you do that, we talk about customer loyalty a lot, and that's really the ultimate goal. You get them to become advocates and sell on your behalf. As long as you give them the tools on the social networks to do that, you're going to reach a much larger audience than you would person to person to person in the traditional model. Now it's going one person to thousands of people, and it's not a marketing message. It's an individual saying, "This is what I believe." So that's a little bit on the promotion and placement, and then I'll pass it on to the rest of the group. Thanks.